Investors hope they've found a match on the Nasdaq today. Bumble, the popular dating app where women make the first move, has begun trading under the ticker symbol BMBL. The company raising over $2 billion in its IPO at $43 a share. Bumble creating a buzz at the start of trading, with shares catapulting to $76 a share. We spoke with Bumble President Tariq Shaukat, who earlier spoke with us about his company's Wall Street debut and what lies ahead for his company.
We are incredibly excited about the IPO, about the reception it's received, and we are really looking at how we expand the business, how we keep growing globally, how we move into new areas and new markets. So we're excited about what we're seeing today.
Mm-hmm. So your company does operate the dating apps Bumble and Badoo, but I know you are looking to expand into other markets and other verticals here. What are the expansion plans?
Well, we think that we're just really scratching the surface right now. We see a lot of potential both for Bumble and Badoo in global expansion and really taking the Bumble app globally. We have been strong in the US, UK, a number of other markets around the world, but we think we're just getting started. And Badoo is a top 3 lifestyle app in the iOS App Store in 59 countries, and we think there's a lot more room to grow there. So we're excited about the dating business and what we can continue to do in the dating business. Beyond that, we've seen our friendship product, BFF, and our biz product, Bumble Biz, are really getting very strong adoption. We've seen 9% of our monthly active users on Bumble use the friendship product, and we think that we are really just getting started there as well. So as we think about new categories, we're really looking at how we expand our mission of helping people build healthy and equitable relationships into not just romantic relationships, but also platonic relationships, business relationships.
It sounds like a smart business move. I know when it comes to dating on this app, the video calls, at least on Bumble, were up double digits in the first few months of the pandemic. Have you seen that trend continue?
For sure. And I think, broadly speaking, what's happened in the pandemic is that engagement on dating apps, particularly and on Bumble and on Badoo, has really increased. People are adopting what we are calling slow dating. They are getting to know people better, deeper on the apps before they agree to meet someone in person, in part because they can't meet people in person in many places right now. But we do see that depth of engagement on video, on text, on audio, on all sorts of different means. And we think that that is something that our users tell us they really like and they expect to actually continue post the pandemic, when you can go and meet people in person.
And I know users, Tariq, can use the app for free, but obviously your business model is going to rely on them to convert to some of these paid options. And so what incentives are you providing users to bump up and boost their profile and pay for those extra items?
Well, we really are focused on how do we add value to the users inside of the apps and provide them with those value-added services that they may want to pay for. So as an example, on Bumble, we have 2 different subscription models that you can opt into. As you say, you can use the app for free, but if you want to boost your profile to get a little bit more visibility, to have it put with a little bit more prominence, you can subscribe to one of our tiers. If you are, for example, traveling, which doesn't happen all that much these days in the pandemic, but is something that we've heard demand for, you can opt in on Bumble Premium for travel mode, as an example. And so those are just a couple of illustrations of the type of added value we are providing to users to help them really use the dating apps the way that they want to serve their lifestyle in the right way, and really hopefully make it a better and better experience for them.
Mm-hmm. I think the biggest question is, what does dating look like in a post-pandemic world? So what are you expecting at Bumble once we finally reach herd immunity?
Well, we hear a couple of things. We have 12 million monthly active users on Bumble. We've got 28 million monthly active users on Badoo. And so we're constantly listening to what our users are saying. And they are saying that there are some things in the pandemic, while nobody likes the pandemic, obviously, there's some things about dating in the pandemic that people are starting to like. The idea of meeting somebody on a dating app and not really knowing them at all and going out to a coffee shop or a bar and meeting them for the first time is losing its appeal versus this idea that I mentioned earlier of slow dating, the idea that you can spend more time on the app in text, audio, video. You can spend time over time in casual games or things like that to get to know somebody. And then when you feel like there's a really meaningful connection starting to build, then you can go out and meet somebody in real life. So we think that what we've been calling slow dating and hybrid dating is really something that is going to stick around post the pandemic.
So Match Group and Facebook Dating, two competitors of yours, Tariq. When you look at Facebook Dating and its massive might, I mean, it's billions of users, how are you preparing for Facebook to pivot more into the dating market?
You know, we really focus every day on how do we help women make the first move on our app? How do we really make sure that we are meeting the needs that we have? And we think that Bumble and Badoo are really geared towards helping you meet people that you don't know yet. And that is really the central organizing thought that we have. It's how do we actually help you discover new connections? How do we help you make new connections? How do we help you deepen those new connections? And that we think is different from what a lot of established social networks are able to provide. But we stay every day focused on listening to our users, looking at the technology, figuring out how we can really serve their needs as best as possible.
And our thanks to Tariq Shaukat, who is the president at Bumble.